Hello all, Namaskar. Again, welcome you today for not Mumukshu, this is AYUDHA session. And today we will be discussing the topic of attitude. This is a part of GS4 syllabus. Thank you. Thank you. So basically, as it is a live session, you can ask all your doubts also. We will keep it to the end of the session wherein we will discuss all the doubts that you have, not related only to GS4 or attitude regarding other things. But now we will start with ethics. And ethics, the topic that we have taken today is attitude. Now, basically, let me clear what all we will discuss. I will try to make you understand what exactly attitude is, and I'll try to make you understand that where all in which all things we are using our attitude, yet we are unaware that we are using our attitude and how our attitude is affecting our day-to-day actions, and how we are influenced by our attitude and how our actions are getting influenced by our attitude now. And we will see how to use all those things in the case studies, because one part is theory, the other is case studies. So now coming directly to attitude, what is attitude? Attitude is a predisposition, like your mental feelings, like how you feel. Yes, we are coming to that. Like how you feel, your mental, your predisposition that and about a thing. For example, let me take, I don't like cat. This is my attitude towards cat. I don't like maybe a dog. This is my attitude towards a dog. What kind of attitude it is? It is a negative attitude. And here, so if I'll discuss it, it is my predisposition. It is my mental thought. It is something that I feel about the cat or dog or something else. So here the cat or dog is said to be an attitude object. And what your predisposition, what is predisposition? It means what type of thought, what type of opinion you have about something. So here for a cat, I have very negative opinion that I don't like it. So this is my attitude towards cat. And this is a very simple definition. In fact, attitude is a repeated theme in GS4. So I would basically ask you to look into the standard textbooks. You will find some of the definitions by scholars. You can please use that because basically you will get that in the standard textbook as well as some topper copies. So we are not going to discuss this. Rather, we are going to discuss what are its applications and how you can use it meaningfully in your GS4 as case studies. Because if you don't understand the parts of it, you cannot use it. So now that we have discussed what is attitude and what are attitude object. So attitude object is something about which you have an opinion, and the opinion or the feeling that you have towards that object is attitude of yours. Now attitude is something that can be changed. This is the main point. If you know that the attitude can be changed, you know that 50% of the topic we have covered. Why? Because see, let me assume that there are many of the examples that we see that the parents don't like pets, but once you bring the pets to them, like a dog or cat or something, they get addicted to them. After 5 to 10 days, you see that they don't leave them. So their attitude in the beginning was that they don't like pets, like the dogs and cats. But now after 10 days, their attitude has changed. They are loving the dogs and cats. So attitude can be changed. And we will see how the changing of attitude can help a civil servant. Because as a civil, at the end we are reading for civil services. So at the end, what you have to do, all the knowledge that you have to use to change the attitude of the people. Now let us directly go to an example. For example, there are people, you must be knowing the government is doing Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. In the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, what is the focus of the government? They want to change the attitude of the people about defecation. There is open defecation by the people. They go out in the fields, they go out in the banks of the rivers to defecate or to excrete. So here the attitude of the people, because you must have seen there are some movies also like Toilet Prem Katha, if I am not wrong, where you would have seen that the people say they say that I feel very open when I defecate in the open air. I feel very relaxed. The closed rooms do suffocate me. I cannot do all those things in the open. So basically the attitude of the people is that they want to defecate only in the open air. Now as a district collector, you have to change that attitude. See, basically one thing that you can do, you can put rewards and punishments and all those things. But again, as we have discussed day before yesterday itself, that rewards and punishments can't make a practice very sustainable. So what makes a practice very sustainable? That is when you change the attitude of the people. Like, so the main purpose of the civil servant is that he must know the qualities of persuasion and social influence. Mark the use of the word persuasion and social influence. We will discuss them to change the attitude of the people. So now, how do you do that? So for that, we need to know that attitude has three components. It is said the CAB model, some say it is the ABC model. And you can check the definition who has given this from the books. But what we must know the concept. So what is ABC model? So every attitude has three components. Number one is affective, number two is behavioral, and number three is cognitive. This is ABC. What is affective component? It is your feelings, it is your emotions. You can remember from the word, affective word came from affection. And affection is something that is your feeling. How do you feel about a thing? So attitude has an affective component, and that can be used to change or to transform your attitude about something. There is the second component is behavioral. We will come to it later. First, let us discuss the cognitive attitude. That is the cognitive component. That is, it is the knowledge component. It is you are using your reason, you are using the logic to come to attitude, to take it inside you and to practice it. Now, what is the behavioral component? The second component that we have discussed. That is your actions, your behaviors, and how do your behavior change your attitude. So now you know that A, B, C are there. Now we will take an example so that you will understand it very clearly. For example, this is a case study itself. Let us assume that you are the district magistrate of a district, and the people there are doing open defecation very freely. Despite there are rules and regulations, but you are not able to control that. So how do you change them? How do you enforce the defecation, the open defecation free status of your village? In fact, in the Panchayat village, we saw that there are some instances. In Panchayat village, no Panchayat web series. So one of the things is that no doubt, undoubtedly, you will use the law enforcement, all those things. But at the same time, we have to change the attitude of the people towards open defecation to make the open defecation free attitude a sustainable one, or something that the people will practice when there is no law in front of them. So how do you do? So here we have to target all the three components, that is the affective, behavioral and cognitive. See, kindly pay very cautious attention to this, because if you are able to understand the three components and their examples, you can use them very effectively in all your case studies. So now as a DM, how will you change these three components? So number one thing is affective components. And affective components means it includes your feelings, like your joy, like your enjoyment, like your fear. It can be anxiousness, it can be angriness. So whatever triggers your feelings is your affective component or the emotive component. So let me assume that I am the DM and there is a person who is doing open defecation. I can tell him that, see Mr. X, you are doing open defecation out there, and if someone will take a photograph or someone will take of this, you will face the, what you will say, you will feel insulted in the village and you will not have self-worth. And you will feel that very down, demotivated inside yourself, and you will feel that you have no prestige now. So here what I am trying to say, I am trying to trigger his affective or emotive component. Because if I will tell him the fear of getting the status down by circulating his photograph, then what will happen? Then that person will feel that no, I should not defecate in open, because if this person will take a photograph of this and he will send it out, then what will happen? That my status will go down. And if my status will go down, then you know what are all the problems. So basically, this is the way in which you are triggering his affective attitude. In fact, there is another way to trigger the affective attitude. See, you can bring in the role models. For example, we all take Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab as our idol. Most of us, many of us think that he is one of the most ideal person ever. So assume there is a child who is feeling that Dr. Kalam is his idol, and Dr. Kalam comes to his village and he says that, dear villagers, it is my request to you, if you feel that I am a worthy enough person to hear, then please don't defecate out in open. You will see that a lot of people will not defecate in out. Why? Because they idolate him. They have a feeling of love with him. There is a feeling of affection with him. There is a feeling of respect for him. And to give honor to his words, lot of people will not do open defecation out there. So this is something wherein you are triggering his affective component. It is this emotive component. And in this way, what we are trying to say, we are trying to change the attitude. So this is the affective and emotive component. Now see, you have got 2 points. Number one, you are trying to figure his trigger his emotions by naming and shaming. Naming and shaming is the proper word over here. And the number two, you are trying to bring role models who command a lot of respect. He can be Dr. Kalam Saab. I'm just give the example. He can be the village headman. He can be the local MLA or MP. He can be the religious leader. He can be a very eminent doctor, a psychologist, a civil servant. He can be anyone. In fact, you would have seen that when Honorable Prime Minister gave the call of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, many of the people started doing the cleaning of all those things just because they had the respect for him. You would have seen that many of the people did that. So this is something wherein we are triggering their affective component. I am trying to discuss this in detail because if you understand it, you will use it in all the case studies without any doubt. Now let us go to the second component, that is the cognitive component. So again here the target is we have to free the village from the open defecation. So how do you say? You say that Mr. X, when you are doing open defecation, you know what happens? A lot of bacteria and viruses get over there. Lot of stray animals come to there. And it is a reason where the diseases will spread. In fact, COVID is a disease that many say it is spread from the zoonotic animals. That's why it is a zoonosis. So while Mr. X, you are doing it there, it will spread to a lot of diseases also. And it will, it will destroy the aesthetic of the area. It will lead to very bad perfume and all those things. So please don't do this. So herein what you are doing? You are trying to increase his knowledge level. It is here you are targeting, you are telling him some extra information that if you do this, there will be disease which is harmful for us. It is not you are trying to do his affective component. Affective component means it's like blackmail, something like that. But herein we are trying to target his reason, wherein he will think with the brain. Yes, if I do it out in open, then there will be some diseases. Then there will be some spread of diseases. It will not look good. So this is where you are targeting his cognitive thing. Cognitive is everything about knowledge. We know cognition is knowledge. Now come to the third component, it is behavior. And behavior is something that behavior strengthens the attitude and attitude influences the behavior. Now I'll tell you how, because this is the thing that you must know. For example, take that if I am a person, I have very mild opinion that no, defecating out in open is not a good thing. The government is trying to do a lot of things for us. But mild opinion. I am not very convinced. If someone will say, let's go out, I'll go. I'm just telling an example. So here's something. My attitude is not very strong. But what happens? Behavior thing. But as I have a very small attitude about this, I'm very neutral, but rather a slight tilted towards that I will not do defecation open out there. So I don't go there. And gradually, when I don't go there, my attitude gets strengthened. And what happens? Gradually, the more times I don't go out in open, the more times my attitude gets strengthened. In this way, my behavior, what is my behavior, my action? That I don't do open defecation. And this strengthens my attitude about no open defecation. So this is something that we have A, B, C model. In fact, for B, there is another thing, that is the rewards and punishments. For example, if I don't do open defecation out there, the government rewards me. This will further strengthen my attitude towards no open defecation. I will not go out there. I will get more money, award, and this further strengthens my attitude towards no open defecation. Are you clear about this ABC thing? Please tell me in comment whether are you clear about this ABC thing, because this is something very important. And now we will take some examples wherein you can understand it better. Yes, repeated action towards something will modify behavior in that time. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I precisely meant. Because the more time you do something, it will change your attitude. Because basically I will tell you again the same thing. Like for example, again let us go to our first example, like the pets and the parents. The parents initially don't want the pets. But once the pet comes, what do? They take care of them and all those things. The more they take care of them, the more get attached to them and their behavior changes, which again strengthens their attitude. So everything that you see, you will feel it is a game of attitude. The advertisements that you see, it is a game of attitude. They try to change your attitude towards something. The political campaigns that you see, they also try to change your attitude towards something. The propaganda you see, the advertisements of the college, school, coaching. In fact, the whole session that we are having now, it is also, I am also trying to change your attitude about how to approach for the UPSC exam. I am trying to say you that Mr. X, the approach that you are following might not be very fruitful, but I have a way out there which I have tried and tested, and I have got rank about something, and this is something. Yes, it is similar to your thinking, because I will not say thinking, it is more or less like your opinion. If someone asks, is attitude similar to our thinking? See, thinking, if you mean to say opinion or what you feel about something, inherent feeling, this is the attitude. For example, what I'll say, see, many times you have conscious attitude and many times you don't have conscious attitude. This is also important. How? Basically, assume that I am not very strong in mathematics. I will say I don't love math. Here I am conscious that I don't like mathematics. But what would be unconscious attitude? Assume that wherever a lot of people gather, I go out. I wouldn't have noticed that I don't like a lot of people. But it happens automatically. This is my attitude, but I am not conscious of it. This is unconscious attitude. So, are you getting what I am trying to say? This is something. If you understood this ABC thing, we will see that you can answer a lot of case studies. Now you see that, now let us come, what is the application of this to a civil servant? See, basically you are a civil servant over here. You are posted as a DA. Now what you will do? You have to deal with a lot of people. This open defecation is there. You have to increase the enrollment in the school. You have to do persuasion. There is an accident and the mob is very violent. How do you persuade them? In fact, there are a lot of things. The nalas and everything is overflowing. And they are hell-bent to burn your office. How do you persuade them that don't do this? So many times you have to change their attitude. In fact, what I am trying to say, persuasion is something more or like changing the attitude many times. So this is where it comes very handy for a civil servant. In fact, for a civil servant, persuasion is this day-to-daily work. Because again, see, for example, if there is a lazy worker, see, I am trying to see you examples so that you can understand them. For example, you are the boss. Assume this is a case study. You are the boss and you see that the employee is very honest, very faithful to you, but he is very incompetent in the fact that he is not doing his job properly. But he is a very good person by his nature. Here you what you feel, there is a term called cognitive dissonance. What is cognitive dissonance? And there are two contradicting opinions about him. On one fact, as he's a good person, you don't want that I must kick him out from the job. But at the another thing, due to his non-performance of the job, the efficiency of your work is getting disturbed and you are facing cognitive dissonance. What I should do? So what must be your approach over here? So here you will try to change the attitude of that person. If you are successful in changing the attitude of that person towards work, it will be done. Now we will target the three components. What? A, B, C. First is the affective component. You try to instill the fear in him. You try to say that Mr. X, if you will not do the job, you will be kicked out. And here you are trying to influence him. You are trying to change his attitude towards the job. So basically he will feel fear and he will do. Further also see that if once he performs the job good in time, please pat on the back of him. Say that you have done a good job. I expected the same from you the next time. Here you are appreciating him. And in this way, you are triggering a feeling of joy, a self-respect within him. And herein you are also trying to change his attitude because he feels that if I will do the job properly, I will get appreciation. And who doesn't want appreciation? Everyone wants appreciation. So this is somewhere you are trying to change his affective component. Now let us go to behavioral component. If you ask him to do more and more work, if he gets more adapt to the work, for example, let us take the example of an Excel sheet. At first, he doesn't know how to work on the Excel sheet. The more he works on the Excel sheet, the more he learned he gets. And the more learned he gets, the more proficient he gets in Excel sheet, and he will do the work very fastly. And here you see, his behavior will ultimately change his attitude. His earlier attitude that I don't want to work because I don't know Excel. Now, as and when he is getting more adapted to Excel, he will do the work more proficiently. In fact, also you can do rewards and punishments. That Mr. X, if you do the work, I will reward you. If you don't, I will not punish. And here it will influence his actions. Now there is third thing, that is the cognitive thing. Here in the cognitive thing, you can tell him that Mr. X, see, if you will do the work, I will recommend your name to the boss, and this is the standard process in which we take out the list of promotion and all those things. It will help you to get more more pay. It will help you to get a job of your nature. It might help you to get a place of your location. So herein you are trying to change his knowledge level. You are trying to influence him by knowledge level by making him count all the advantages that he will get if he does the work properly. So here we are trying to change both A, B, C of his attitude. And if I am telling about the case study, and if even after doing all these things, he is not getting corrected, after giving all the due chance, to maintain the efficiency and proficiency of your organization, you can find a work which is suited to him as per his skills, or you can think of giving him some more chance before laying him off. Because at the end it is government's job. Every money is paid out of the taxpayers' money. So, but laying out would be the last thing. It should not be like the corporate that fire and all those things. But you will try all the options that you have in front of him. And laying off it doesn't happen because everyone wants to secure their jobs and they will do that. In fact, you can do some effective trainings for them, because if they lack some skill, before laying them off, you do some trainings for them which will increase their level and all those things. So many times now the government is also giving compulsory retirement to all the persons who are not very efficient. So this is one set of attitude. Now please say me, are you clear about it? Are you clear about it? Yes. Okay. Now that once you're clear about it, see how you will, this is the way how you will mention it in the case studies. If you get a case study that the people of your village are not very interested in going to school, it is a very backward village, and the people think that the girls should not only study in the school, because if the girls will study, then it is beyond the tradition of the village and all those things. How as a DM you will influence them? Again, use the ABC approach. What is ABC approach? Again, try to enhance their effective skills. You say that betiyan parai nahi hoti. So this is all those things you can say. So basically that you can say by trying to effective components, you can say that you love your child and does anyone discriminate them and all those things. You can also trigger the the behavioral component. The more they will send to the girls, the more they will see that the girls are doing good. The more rewards and punishments you will initiate and all those things, they will get influenced. And the cognitive thing, you may say that if your child gets learned, now you see that many times it is not a guarantee that all your child will stay with you. In fact, all the sons will stay with you. Who will take care of you when you are old and all those things? And the girl will help you. It will help you get a life of good thing. In fact, in the effective, you can bring the role model of many women politicians, women scientists. In fact, Miss Srimati Draupadi Murmu, our current president, you can quote her example. You can quote any example you have. All the scientists, the Salumarda Thimaka, we have the environmentalist, Padma Shri Awadi. We have Dr. Kiran Yadav. Lot of examples are there. So you have got 4 to 5 things that you can write as an as your steps when you get such questions. And this is the most important thing, because if you will address all the ABC thing, and I want to put this framework in you, that whenever a question comes on changing the attitude, you must use the framework of ABC, because if you don't think in the framework of ABC, you are bound to miss out something. And with this, please try to say that there is also legal provision. And this is also our fundamental right, that every child must get education. In our DPSP also, it is said that everyone, in our DPSP also, and other things also, it is said that no one should be left out. So this is something you can say and you can conclude. Now I am going to tell you about something new, and this is called nudging. Nudging is also a part of changing your attitude. And this is a recently emerging phenomenon. So I want you to use it in your answers. So I will tell you how do you use it and what exactly is nudging. Nudging is something wherein you are changing the attitude of the persons by very small, what you think very insignificant acts, but they will gradually change the attitude of the person. For example, let me give you an example of the example of nudging. Have you been to the railways site, or if I am not wrong about the current e-delivery sites? It will say that you are traveling. In fact, in all the aeroplane booking sites nowadays, what do they see? They say that your flight rate is this much. In trains specifically, do you want to add the insurance of 0.35 paise? And the default marking will be yes. So when it is there already marked yes, many people don't themselves mark no. They proceed with it. And this has changed the attitude of the person. This has helped you to get the desired outcome. If you would have given them the option yes or no, then more people would have ticked yes, no. But if already yes is marked, then many don't change it again. This is the same case with organ donation and all those things. What again is nudging? I'll say that you might have seen a board that before leaving the room, please switch off the light. This is again nudging. A very small thing, but it has tremendous effect. So this is nudging. So I want you to write that whenever a thing comes, like for example, women education or things, you write using the techniques of nudging to influence the behavior of the people or to influence the attitude of the person. So this is something. Now there is another term called social influence. Social influence is something wherein you are influencing other persons and you are and their attitude is getting changed. It can be conscious, it can be unconscious. Like if you are conscious and deliberately trying to change their attitude, like the ads and all those things, and like many motivational speakers, they try to say, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't do this, don't do that. This is the changing the attitude deliberately. But many times the attitudes are getting changed unconsciously. Like you might have seen that when our former captain, cricket captain, had very long hairs, Mr. MS Dhoni, Sahab, many people tried to keep his cut. Like once you had seen that the Chris mask came, many people tried to have it. This is unconscious. This is not what is an unintended social influence. Here it is. They are not deliberately trying, but yet it is happening. And here comes there is another thing, that is persuasion. Persuasion is the deliberate attempt to change your attitude. And here there are a lot of approaches, like someone will try to change you by cognition, affective and all those things. Many religious leaders, many political leaders, they will come and try to change you by persuading you to leave aside something and to practice something. I'm just telling you all these words because you must use these words while writing the answers, like social influence, like persuasion, like triggering the ABC, the affective behavior and the cognitive component. If you write all these things, then the examiner will think that yes, you know the theory and you're not writing something out of the blue. So this is one thing. There is another set of attitude strengthening, like incongruent and congruent. This is not so important, but I am just telling you. What is incongruent? Let us assume that I like smoking. Let us assume that I like smoking. And my attitude towards smoking is good. That because I like smoking. But what happens? I suffer from a very big disease. And the doctor says that if you smoke, you will die tomorrow. Then what I will do? I will stop smoking. And after I stop smoking, I read a lot of articles about smoking, its injuriousness and all those things. And I feel the opinion that smoking is not good for health. So earlier I felt good about smoking, my attitude was positive. And now my attitude has changed. It is now negative because I don't want to smoke. So here this is incongruent. And what is congruent? If your attitude is getting strengthened. For example, you are going to gym and you learned that going to gym will help you a lot in making your body 6 packs, 8 packs and all those things. And you go to gym and this is you have a good positive attitude about it. But the more you go to gym, you realize that this is not only making your body very aesthetically looking good, but rather it is very good for the functioning of the body. Your body is getting exercise. You are getting physically fit. So you find another advantage. And here your attitude with about gym is getting strengthened. Earlier you felt good, now you are feeling very good. And this is how your attitude is changing about gym. And this is the congruent because it is the gradual strengthening. So this is more or less all about attitude. There are a lot of concepts like classical conditioning, social and all those things. You can read that by yourself because they are all there in the standard textbook. I just wanted to tell you how to use them in your answers. And if you are thorough with the ABC thing, you can use them in any of your answers. In fact, I will say, there is another word that is Aristotle said, ethos, logos and pathos. And this is the way all the advertisement guys are using this thing only. Ethos, logos and pathos. What is ethos? It is the ethicality, and herein they are using the credible person to promote their advertisement. For example, if you would have seen like the Coca-Cola or Pepsi, they are using the person who has a lot of credibility, like the Bollywood stars, to promote it. And this is where they are trying to say that we are ethical. Are you understanding? Then comes the word pathos. Herein they are trying to say effective component of it. They say that Mountain Dew, dar ke aage jeet hai, and it is triggering a very feel good thing about you. So this is something that a pathos component. And what is logos? The logic component. You say that this diet coke has very less amount of carbohydrate, less amount of sugar than the normal coke. So here you are feeling good by cognitive, by knowing, by logical mind, that rather than drinking direct coke, I must drink diet coke, and this is good. So I am just trying to give you some examples to say. So these are the ways in which the ads are trying to say are trying to change your attitude about something. I'm not saying that this is good or bad or something. I'm just telling you the standard models in which all these things are getting used. So in fact, what you see, what you talk about a person, if you see earlier, there might be some, let us take about political attitude. This is a good example, you can see. So for example, there is a political attitude. It might be your predisposition about politics and political parties. What can be the effective component? The feeling of hope, the feeling of attachment towards a political leader, the feeling of respect towards a political leader, the feeling of respect or attachment towards a political ideology. This is the effective component. What is the behavioral component? It is taking part in voting, doing your civic duties, and this is all about the behavioral part, because this is the action that you are doing. If you participate in any rally, this is the behavioral component. What is the cognitive thing? You learn about constitution and you know that it is you who is the soul, because it is at the end the MPs, MLS or everyone else is at the end representing you. The source of constitution is you. The preamble starts with, we the people of India give ourselves this constitution. So if you realize this, you know that this is affecting our cognitive component. So this is the way in which we influence all the three components. And this is the way. So for any attitude that you see, for example, if you don't like Karela, the bitter gourd, if I'm not wrong, yes. So you will see that the attitude about it, many times there will be conflicting attitude. Like many times some of the component will be super heavy on that. Like many of the learned person know that smoking is bad for health, but their effective component is so high that they feel so good by smoking or drinking that they do it. So this is something. So this is all about attitude. And there are some standard things like the definition by some of the scholars, some classical theories and all those things that you can read it yourself from the book. All standard textbooks have this and you can do that. So that's all that I wanted to discuss about attitude. This will be a small thing, but what you have learned, please try to implement them in your case studies. Wherever you have to change the opinion of the people about something, they are asking you to change the attitude of the person towards something. And here there will be use of ABC, CAB. And this is the best way in which you can write everything. And please try to include other examples like role models, legislative approaches, the punishments, the jail terms. And this will make your answer very, complete. So that's all that I wanted to discuss. If you have any other doubt, please tell me, or we will come together with another session on another topic. This will be a small topic, but it is very important. If you have any other thing, please tell me, or if you have any doubt about this, please do let me know. After that, I will end this session. I hope you all are studying well, and you all are doing whatever is necessary for you to reach to your goal. Please don't get deviated. Please try your best. Give it all that you have. And at the end, don't feel bad about yourself, or don't doubt yourself. Yes. Is there any doubt? Kindly provide SOMP mains notes. I cannot provide all these things because that is their IP, or what you say, that is their property. How can I share something in open? No, I can do that. I'm really sorry. You can have it from them. You can contact them and they will give you. How to deal with PIV? Do I need to check every day and make notes? See, basically, nowadays, lot of coaching institutes, the monthly compilations that anyone you follow, they have mostly the details from PIB. And in fact, I don't feel that there is some need. But I'll say, please install the app of PIB in your free time. Just go through them. See some facts. If you get something new, if you find something very relevant, then note it down and read. Because at the end, they are nowadays, mostly everything is included in the monthly magazines by a lot of coaching institutes. And in fact, there are PIB compilations that are given. So you can try any of this. But it's up to you. If you have time, you can do that. Thank you. Thank you for feeling energetic. Yes. Is there anything more? I feel everything has been discussed. Yes. Criteria to keep in mind before selecting optional. See, basically, I have discussed it earlier also. What is the criteria for selecting an optional? See, basically, the criteria for selecting an optional is please choose an optional in which you are passionate. Because see, everything now will appear very happy picture. Like you will feel interested in geography, in history, in all the subjects. But have you spent a lot of time with them? If you spend a lot of time with them and you are feeling good about it, you can choose that. That's it. And please check the previous year questions. Please check the marks and all that they are getting and the trends. And in fact, I will say, please read some of the topics. Try to see the PYQs and please check whether your understanding about the topic is wide enough to answer them or not. And if you can do that for a small thing, you can replicate them. But at the end, at the end, what you can do, you can try to at the end what you can do for optional thing, you can try to spend time with them, because you will know that more time you spend with many optionals, you feel very bit reluctant, you feel that you get bored. If you're getting bored that thing, then that is an issue. Please try to choose an optional which is making you feel very good all the time, and that's the sole criteria while attempting case study using attitude. See, again, Suraj ji, you will not get attitude changing questions in all the case studies. It might be that you are getting repeated questions in the test series and all those things, but in UPSC you will get different things. And don't worry. See, again, I am saying, even if you are not writing that I am changing the affective component, behavioral component, just mention. See, wherever it is trying to telling you the change the attitude, there are some normal things that, like, you will use the religious leaders to change them. Don't write if you don't want to write that. In this way, I am changing the affective component. In one of the answers, please write that triggering the affective behavior, like calling the religious leaders to influence them, or the role modeling. Use the jugglery of the words. Means try to juggle the words and write it. And many times you won't feel they are repetitive. You see, and in fact, I will say, please look into some topper copies. You will know how beautifully they write. In fact, it is repetition. Definitely, it will be repetition, but your answers will change. For example, for example, first we discuss about defecation. The emotive component there was you are trying to instill fear or insult and all those things. The feeling of insult. But here, what we are saying, like if there is another thing, like about the cat and dog, here there is no fear or anything in the emotive thing. It is out of love. So for each case studies, the components are very different, and you will get that once you start writing the answers, and you will check the toppers copies. Yes. How to do DVA? I am not able to do all the heading under DVA every day. Please help. How to do DVA? I am doing the DVA for you. So what you need to do? You just keep a note and compile them, and that's all. And in fact, I will say, even if you are not able to compile everything, take one or two and try to see where all you can put it in your answers. For example, take anything like any of the topic, I don't remember what was there in DVA today. Best personality, we had Mr. Sudhir Raut, and the fact we had about diabetes. I'm not able to remember about the scheme. Yes, the scheme was drones in the Telangana. So please see this drones thing where you can use it in answers. Number one thing, you can use it in science and technology, innovation and all those things. Number two, you can use it in healthcare. Number three, you can use it in good governance. Because how good governance? Because by using drones to deliver medicine and vaccines, you are ensuring that it will reach to the remote corner. So try to use them in your answers and you will do that. Particular thing in yes. Can you give example of certain civil servant had done particular thing in certain area similar to the case study asked? Yes, you can give whatever example you have. Definitely you can do. I can give you one or two examples, like Mr. Prasad Nair, IAS, was there in Kerala. He started one thing. There is one chai, Suleimani, Operation Suleimani. Suleimani is the name of a local tea over there, wherein he tried to feed the poor. And what he did, he tried to change the attitude of the hotel owners. He tried to tell them, saying that the food that you are wasting, don't waste the food, rather give it to rather use them, that the excess food, for feeding the poor. And he arranged some system of tokens and all those things. You can read about them. In fact, there are many examples. Please search the open defecation free status. Like if you will see the open defecation free and other things, please see who was the collector over there and search that collector by name. You will get that what all things they have done, and this is the way out. In fact, you can use your local collector's name if they are doing something very good. So that is that. In fact, lot of things are being done. Wherever you see that water conservation has succeeded, wherever you can see, in fact, in my district, this is Nirbhay Kadhi program was there, wherein it was made child marriage free. It is a classic example wherein attitude changing was needed. Like, how do you influence all the village and the city guys to change their attitude? Our collector did it, and he did it very intensely. We went to a lot of schools and all those things and tried to do that. So it is, you can find them, you will get a lot of examples. Like what Ashok Khemkas had done against real estate business. See, again, you can quote them if it is very relevant. There are a lot of examples where Prasad Nair sir, we have Ashok Khemkas sir, we have Upadhyay sir, if I am not able to remember. A lot of examples. You can use Dr. E. Sridharan sir, the Metro Man of India, known for his integrity, honesty. You can use M. Visvesvaraya sir. Lot of examples are there. You can do. Sir, selection के बाद सिर्फ मौज करना चाहिए. No, not like that. It is, I am doing my duty towards all of you. So that's it. Moj is something that everyone will do in proper time. Yes, thank you. Giving back to society. Taken from. Okay. Classical theory. Yes, there are a lot of things. The classical theory, the conditioning theory. You will get that in a lot of textbook and you can use them. I am not going to discuss all these things because they are the standard things. I am just trying to tell you what is the application part of it and how you can use it in your case studies. Yes. Is there anything more that I need to discuss, or is there any doubt that you have? If you have, please tell, or we will end the session over there. Okay. I feel that we have addressed the thing and we have completed the topic of attitude. Okay. Classical theory. No, see, Chahat ji, if you take any standard book, you will get all these theories. Any standard book, you will get all these theories. In fact, see, again, basically the thing, these theories and all those things, they were coming during when the ethics paper was introduced. Now, if you will see the paper of UPSC, they are not asking all these theories. So, in fact, I don't pay much attention to them because they are not of so much use. Yes, you can read about them, you can learn about them, but they are not getting repeated very often, and now it is not. You can check the recent papers. So that's why please try to see, if you are learning any concept, please try to see how you can use it in your answers, specifically case studies. And nowadays they are not asking any direct question. If you can mention them that as per classical conditioning theory, as per classical theory, this is the thing, that is fine, and this can be done. Yes. Okay, classical theory. Vikas sir, ethics class, can we recommend? Who Vikas sir? I am not aware of Vikas sir. You can please see. You can check his reviews. If it is good, you can go there. You can do that. Yes, definitely. So I feel all the queries have been addressed, and we will end the session over here. There are no more doubts as such, as I am saying. So thank you again. Please take care. Nowadays new threats are coming like monkeypox and all those things. Vikas Divikirti sir, okay. You can check the review and you can join. Basically, I have no idea about this course. You can check and you can do. So basically, thank you again. Please take care of your health. The season is changing and everything is changing. Please take care. Monkeypox is also coming. Please do take effective care. COVID is also there. So thanks again, and we will come tomorrow with another session, and we will see what all we can do. Thank you again. Namaskar. Good night. Good night. Thank you. Okay. Bye bye. Ending the session over here. Jai Hind. And don't doubt yourself.